What if I told you that you could build and deploy a functional, value-driving AI system in your company, not in 6 or 12 months, but in just 3 weeks? I know, it sounds kind of impossible, right? But there's a new model out there that suggests by just shifting how we think, we can go from a high-level AI strategy to actual execution at an incredible speed. Let's break down exactly how it works.
We've all seen this movie before. A really promising AI pilot project kicks off, everyone's excited, and then it just fizzles out. It never quite makes it into production, it definitely doesn't scale, and that promised business value, it just never shows up. So what is going on here? Why is it so incredibly hard to get these things off the ground?
This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It's the core of the problem. You hear this from executives and tech leaders all the time. They know AI is critical, they've got a strategy docked somewhere, but there's this massive gap, a chasm really, between that plan and the day-to-day reality of actually building something that works.
So to bridge that gap, here's our plan. First, we're going to diagnose the problem, what we're calling the execution gridlock. Then we'll talk about a huge mindset shift that's required. After that, we'll dive straight into the solution, something called the AI operating system and a pretty radical 3-week model. And finally, we'll look at the brand new role that really brings us all together, the AI architect.
Okay, let's start by putting a name to this problem. The execution gridlock. You know it when you see it. It's that incredibly frustrating state where all progress just grinds to a halt and good AI ideas just stall out forever.
The symptoms probably sound pretty familiar. You've got pilot programs that are stuck in proof-of-concept purgatory, you've got teams doing endless little experiments that never connect to a bigger business goal, consultants get brought in, they write some reports, but no system ever gets built. So what's the root cause? It's not a lack of smart people or good ideas. It's the lack of a system for execution, a real engine to drive the whole process forward.
So to break out of this gridlock, the solution isn't what you might think. It's not about finding a better tool or a more powerful AI model. No, it's a fundamental shift in how we even approach the problem of building with AI in the first place.
And this right here really gets to the core of it. On one side, you have thinking in tools. This is the trap most companies fall into. They focus on the what, a specific language model, a new piece of software. But on the other side, you have thinking in systems. This approach starts with the why and the how. It focuses on the business outcome first, figures out what the entire system needs to do, and then maps how all the different pieces have to connect. It completely changes the game and gives you a clear path forward.
This systems thinking approach is all wrapped up in a methodology called the AI operating system. Now let me be super clear here. This is not a piece of software you buy. Think of it more like a recipe, a structured, repeatable method for actually building and executing your AI strategy.
The process itself breaks down into 4 really clear steps. It all begins with step 0, defining a concrete business outcome, not a technical one. From there, the team builds real, tangible system artifacts. Then, and this is the cool part, the system itself guides the execution, flagging anything that's missing. And finally, everything is version controlled in a system of record, like GitHub, to create a solid, durable foundation.
Let's just zoom in on step 1 for a second, because this is so important. When we say artifacts, we are not talking about ideas on a whiteboard. We're talking about the actual nuts and bolts components of your system. The documented architecture, the defined workflows, the codified decision logic, these are real files. You know, like YAGL configs that define an agent or markdown docs that detail a workflow, all versioned in a repository. They become the real, reusable building blocks for your company's AI capability. So what does system-guided execution actually look like in the real world? Here's a perfect example. Imagine your team is building an AI workflow, but they completely forget about the data architecture. Well, because the system understands all the dependencies, it automatically detects that gap. It then injects a new requirement for the data architecture and literally blocks any more progress on that workflow until that foundation is properly built. The system itself enforces quality. And that right there is the big breakthrough. See, most corporate training or consultants, they deliver knowledge. They teach your team what AI is. But this systems approach, it delivers capability. It forces the team to build something that actually works, and the process makes sure that nothing critical gets missed along the way. You don't just end up smarter as an organization, you end up more capable.
Okay, so we've got the methodology, but how does this all fit into a real-world timeline? Well, this is where that aggressive but super structured 3-week execution model comes into play. The entire process is squeezed into 3 really intense weeks. Week 1 is all about the blueprint, defining the problem, architecting the solution. Week 2 is the build week, where you're connecting all the components and bringing the workflows to life. And finally, week 3 is all about deployment, refining the system, validating that it's actually working, and then planning the roadmap for what's next. Now, a totally new way of working, like this AI operating system, you can't run it with people in the same old siloed roles. It actually demands a new, synthesized kind of role to connect all the dots.
And that new role is the AI systems architect. Think of this person as a hybrid. They've got the outcome focus of a business analyst, the mapping skills of a process designer, the logical rigor of a data analyst, the user-first view of a product thinker, and the technical chops of an AI builder and a systems architect. It's the one person who can see the entire picture, from the business need all the way down to the code.
So the crucial point here is that this AI systems architect becomes the absolute linchpin of the whole operation. They are the human element that actually operates this AI operating system, making sure that the business logic, the data, the process, and all the AI parts connect perfectly into one functional end-to-end system.
And this really brings us back full circle to the central idea. This is not about just adopting a new tool. Implementing AI successfully at this level is fundamentally a business design challenge. You are redesigning the very DNA of how your business operates, with AI as a core integrated part of that new design.
This quote just perfectly sums up the entire argument. The technology is here, right? The models are powerful enough. The real barrier to success isn't the AI itself. It's our inability to systematically and reliably execute on an AI strategy.
And that really just leaves us with one critical question that you should ask in your own organization. Are you just building with tools, or are you actually building an operational system? Because the way you answer that question will very likely define your future success with AI.